Morning, folks. It is the Friday, the 14th of August, about 8:30 or so in the morning. And just another little snippet of information that it's readily available elsewhere, textbooks, various other places, but it's one of my friends and I had been discussing diminished seventh chords. And I told her that I would be putting a few little informational blurbs about them, some of the neat characteristics about them on the web. So here's the first one. And the idea here with this one is that if you lower any note of a fully diminished seventh chord a half step, you end up with a dominant seventh. So hang on a second, let me just turn my air conditioner off. So, for example, C, which is turn up, C, E flat, G flat, B double flat is a fully diminished seventh chord. But if you lower the C down a half step and respell stuff, you get B, D sharp, F sharp, and a dominant seventh. So here's the, and you can do that with every other note. So say, for example, C, E flat, F sharp, A. You lower the E flat a half step, you get a dominant seventh, D, F sharp, A, C. Only in this case, it's in third inversion. And you derive that from we derived that from just lowering the one note of the fully diminished seventh chord a half step. Okay, similarly, C, E flat, F sharp, A. If you lower the F sharp a half step to the F, you get, from the bottom up, C, E flat, F, A, which is a second inversion. Diminished, dominant seventh. C, E flat, F, and A. All right, now going back to the fully diminished seventh chord again. If you lower the A, or what we originally spelled as a B double flat, we lower that a half step to A flat. The notes then you have are C, E flat, G flat, and A flat. And that, of course, is a first inversion dominant seventh chord. So, to review, you can get very easily to 4 different dominant seventh chords from any fully diminished seventh chord simply by lowering any of the degrees of the fully diminished seventh chord a half step. So, which means you can very easily modulate from very different key to very distant keys with that way. That way, you can move from very, very distant from quite distant keys using that technique. Furthermore, it's also very interesting, and this works for other inversions, but we'll talk about just the root of the quote unquote normal inversion for the moment. If you lower here's the E flat, here's the C, E flat, G flat, and B double flat again, and then we lower the root of that to a B, right? So to make it a B7 chord, as many of you know already, that a German giving it away. The dominant seventh chord sounds exactly like a German sixth chord. Okay, so that once you arrive from the fully diminished seventh chord to a dominant seventh chord, that dominant seventh chord can then be reinterpreted, respelled, or rethought of as a German sixth in yet another key. So isn't that interesting? I think that's really quite fascinating. I'm not quite sure where I first saw that. It might have been from one of my old theory textbooks. It might have been one of my old instructors. It might have been one of my colleagues who pointed that out at one point. But this is, I think, really quite interesting and fairly easy to wrap your head around, and can be quite useful. So I hope my friend finds this and finds it to be of use, and I hope other people find it to be of use. Anyway, that's it for today. There will be more little blurb-ettes on fully diminished seventh chords, derived from from my teaching experience, etc., later on. But here's the first one. Anyway, I hope you're well, and I will talk at you again soon. Bye-bye.